This is our latest album is called Bungaroosh, and this is the title track from that album.
This is our Bungaroosh tour, in fact.
It is, yeah.
And you're all wondering, what the heck does Bungaroosh mean? Well, we are here to educate you. As we're in an old school, that seems appropriate, doesn't it?
You did it.
No, you did.
Right, okay.
No, I'm tuning
So,
the guitar.
it's a term in the building trade in Brighton, mainly. There are a few in London as well. And Bungaroosh walls were created sort of around the Regency period. People were throwing up walls really quickly.
There are still people throwing up walls in Brighton, by the way. On a Friday night. Not pretty.
They were putting up walls very quickly, using local, cheaply sourced materials. So they would create wooden shuttering and then fill it with, in Brighton, they would fill it with stones from the beach, sand, flint, chalk. So all sorts of different densities of stuff would go in, then they'd pour mortar on it and let it set. And then smooth it off to look absolutely glorious until you try and put up a shelf. Until a few hundred years later, it's starting to crumble. So yeah, it's a metaphor, allegory, one of those things anyway, about something that looks fantastic on the inside, but it's rubbish on the inside.
Fantastic on the outside.
Fantastic on the outside, but rubbish on the inside. Yes.
It seemed like a good idea at the time to call our album that, and then we thought maybe that's not such a great marketing after all. There you go.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, it's just a great word though, isn't it? Bungaroosh. Look it up, it's on Wikipedia. Thank you very much. Good luck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Streets are made with precious stones. Seems so sweet but high the tree. Houses here are tall and fine. People may drink fine red wine. But the walls are made with Bungaroosh. Seems so straight but high the tree. Bungaroosh. what lies within.
We don't know what came to happen.
Can't tell what lies within.
We don't know what came to happen.
You can't tell what lies within.
We don't know what came to happen.
Food is fine but touched by fire. So sweet it's full of lies. Bad eyes and babies cry. All that looks so strange and true. You begin to see right through all this place down the road. Food is fine but touched by fire. Who lies the babies cry. All that looks so strange and true. Only you can see right through. Food is fine but touched by fire. Who lies the babies cry. All that looks so strange and true. If only you can see right through. It's all just Bungaroosh. I've got some lemon drizzle. When you were saying earlier, if anybody can't help, you can help them with the, if they can't manage the lemon drizzle, I thought you were going to say, pass them on to Jim, because that would be fine. That would be absolutely fine. What are we doing? Oh, yes.
We wrote this song the first time we ever went to the Purbeck Valley Folk Festival.
Never heard of it.
It was just after lockdown eased and people were still social distancing and wearing masks. But everyone was there to have a really good time. And they were doing the fancy dress competition and people stayed in their fancy dress competitions for the whole time. And yeah, it was so inclusive and lovely. And it was a particularly good time because everyone could suddenly get together again and it felt special. And we saw Grace Petrie. She performed Black Tie, and that kind of fed into this one as well. It's called Festival of Fruits. And in the fish market is this Festival of Fruits, where norm isn't norm, every single moment's unique. Where your weight are broken and your legs and bones sleep. We're all threads in this multicolored
So we did get to travel around the country quite a bit, and it's beautiful. This is one of our, Swanage is probably one of our favourite places in the country. Got so many family memories down here. But we found ourselves up in the northwest of England a couple of years ago, and there's this beautiful place called Arnside, and it's just around the corner, sort of just around the corner from Morecambe Bay, and you look across the river over to the Lake District and over to Cumbria, and you see the long map being on there. We're going back to Wilmington in Sussex. You see the Old Man of Coniston. And somebody suggested when we were playing this gig in Arnside that we write a song about the old Man of Coniston.
So I looked up about the Old Man of Coniston and I found a legend about Simon and Nick, which is basically a fairy story. That Simon was shown where to mine for copper by the fairies, on the understanding he told nobody that the fairies had told him. But of course, drink got the better of him in the pub, told everyone, fairies told him where to find the copper. And then two possible endings. One, he just couldn't find the copper anymore. Two, he blew himself up in his mine. So I've gone for the happier one, not blowing himself up. So this is called Simon's Nick. The old man of Coniston got his treasures deep. Fairy folk take up their own while the old man sleeps. They know the fickle ways of men and with them they play. So the old man of Coniston awakes into copper mine valley. Simon he did ride, a loving wife and baby travel by his side. He came to seek their fortune up in furnace fells, for the secret of the treasure mines. No local tells. Simon took to drinking and wandered in the dark. Up there on the old man's chest, there to lay his mark. He laid his hand down his head, weary from the ale, and gently sobbed into the moss. My darling wife, I failed. The old man of Coniston got his treasures deep. Fairy folk take up their own while the old man sleeps. They know the fickle ways of men and with the lady play. So the old man of Coniston awakes. Can you keep the secret? A voice whispered in his ear. A tiny face looked up him, he wiped away his tears. Oh Simon, we can help you find a copper seam, copper that will make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Can you keep it secret? No one can you tell. The fairy showed you riches here in furnace bells. He swore that up their tiny hands guided him that night to the richest heap of copper. He ordered it tonight. Simon's luck had turned around, news had travelled wide. As his wealth built up, they all lost about his fine. With money in his pockets once again, he took to ale, and in his cups forgot his life. He told his fairy tale. The old man of Coniston got his treasures deep. Fairy folk take up their own while the old man sleeps. They know the fickle ways of men and with the lady play. So the old man of Coniston awakes. That was the end of Simon's rock. No more could he find. He couldn't keep the secret of the fairy mine. Now Simon's Nick is just a scar on the old man's face. The fairies took the treasure back, leaving not a trace. The old man of Coniston got his treasures deep. Fairy folk take up the road while the old man sleeps. They know the fickle ways of men and with the lady play. To the old man of Coniston awakes. been on our Bungaroosh album, copies of which are on display on the table over there. And we also have posters of 3 of our albums, and badges, and greeting cards. Just £2 each for greetings cards, stock up. Lots of different ones though. Oh, and albums, yes, music. Yeah, why music?
So, the Wagatha Christie thing came up in the news again, didn't it, a couple of weeks ago?
Is that what it was called?
Wagatha Christie.
Okay.
Yeah. Where, hang on, was it Colleen Rooney was, had taken Rebecca Varney to court over something she had said or written or whatever. Anyway, thing was about that, when this came up a few years ago, this kind of inspired this song. Now, it's not a song about Colleen Rooney or Rebecca Varney, because there are too many of those folk songs out there about those two, aren't there? You know, we won't add to that. Another song about Rebecca Varney. Anyway, I think the point was about this was kind of the mass media was like building them up to be these terrible people that we should sort of ridicule, and it was a bit of a joke. And who knows what they're like, but it made me think that, I don't know these people, you know, we don't know what's going on in their lives, and who are we to judge what's right and wrong, or who said, you know, what they should do. But it made me think that the mass media wants us all to be like this all the time, at each other, and, you know, especially on social media. So we're not on Facebook any longer. Well, you'll find us there. We've got a page on Facebook, but we don't kind of interact on there. So we kind of walked away from it a little bit. So if you want to see what we're up to, you know, give us your email address, and we won't send it to any dodgy Russians or anything like that. We don't know anything. But anyway, the point about this song is. I wrote this song, it's called Judge, Jury and Execution. And if you agree with me that kind of mass media just wants to polarise us just for their own means, to their own ends, to sell more papers, get you more, clicking more and all that stuff, sing along and punch the air, because that would be really good. Because we're all sort of judged, but they're turning us all into judge, jury and execution.
Yeah, that's the chorus. I am the judge, I'm the jury, I'm the executioner.
Now normally I stand up and play this song, but I'm not going to, because I'm like, I just dwarf everybody in the room, and I just feel silly. If there was a group of people, I'd be the big bloke at the back, but I can't do that, because I'm over it, so I'm going to sit down. I feel the papers every day, and I won't ever go away. Before you read a word you know, I won't ever let you go. I'll spell the words I want to spell, I'll spill the beans I want to spill. The TV channel that I like shows all the one in black and white. There ain't no room for doubt, I'll never blur the edge, you'll never catch me out. Prognosis is my game. Prognosis is my remedy. And I am always in the right. I will take up your bloody flag. I'll spin the world the back way round. I use my logic all goes down. And then you know I'll start again. I'll find a holy place. Then I'll look down. I'll never bloody edge. You'll never catch me now. I am the judge and the jury and the executioner. I am the judge and the jury and the executioner. A billion minds I will control. I'm gonna take away your soul. A social service without rules. I'm gonna polarize you fools. So, rip up your mail just for fun. Don't look directly at the sun. 'Cause you will never see the light. But what that talks in my pride. Never look the downs, I'll never go the edge. You'll never catch me now. I am the judge and the jury and the executioner. I am the judge and the jury and the executioner. I am the judge and the jury and the executioner. One more. I am the judge and the jury and the executioner. No, let's do well, the next one. Let's do that. If that's all right. Is that right? That's all right. I'll talk about it. Shall I talk about it?
Yeah, you talk about it.
So I mentioned Arnside when we were playing up there in, I think it's Lancashire actually, Arnside. At the same gig, somebody said, we've got an audience book by the way, which Josie, aka Debbie McGee, will now pass around. If you've got any local stories you know that will make a great song, pop them in our book, and we'd love to hear from you. We actually created a website a couple of years ago called Your Stories in Song, where people were contributing stories to this site. But somebody suggested that we write a song about the beauty and the dangers of Morecambe Bay. And it is absolutely stunningly beautiful up there. If you ever get the chance to go there, many of you will be up there, and you'll know what I'm talking about. We wrote this song, we were camping up there, and we wrote this song in the tent when we got back from the gig. And it's called Quicksand Call. We wrote it, and then we realised, as we started to perform it, we realised that it was very, I don't know what the word is, but it made us think of those poor Chinese souls who perished out there, out on the sand. Because not only, obviously, it was a terrible episode, but they were huge. They were slaves, basically, to the gang leaders. And it made us think not only, obviously, think of the beauty and the promise of going out onto the sands, which people are drawn into. It was kind of allegorical to them coming over to this country, looking for a better life, because that's all people are doing. And getting caught in the same way, being trapped. It's called quicksand cooling. Yeah, who likes a murder ballad? Yeah, who doesn't like that?
This is another suggestion from an audience member, but we did a project for the whole of last year. We did a lottery-funded project called Your Stories in Song. And basically we were asking people to share their own stories or stories that they'd heard of or made up things, anything they thought might make a good premise for songwriting or prose or somebody to write a story, a novel, a painting, any kind of creative process. So these are all on a website called yourstoriesinsong.co.uk. And I think there are about 70 plus things on there as inspiration. And this was one that actually cropped up twice, actually 3 times I think. Somebody suggested this one. We'd never heard of it. Chidding Light Onion Pie Murder. It's a true story. And we lived just around the corner from Chidding Light, we'd never heard of it. And it's actually a true story, and it's very sad. It's Sarah French was the last person to be publicly hanged outside Lewes Jail in East Sussex for murdering her husband, poisoning him with arsenic in his onion pie on Christmas Eve. Nice. It looks as if she might have had an accomplice looking through all the transcripts of the trials, which were held in a pub. And the inquest was held in a pub. Yes, it looks as if she had a lover, and he was actually called as a witness. So he wasn't prosecuted, and it was just found that if she was found guilty, it didn't matter, he didn't have to stand trial, she paid the price. But one thing to note, that it looks as if she got the idea by going to a previous hanging, a woman who was convicted of murdering her husband with arsenic in the onion pie. So that was a very good indication that public hanging didn't work.
Sarah's mama
alone. If William's life was taken, stated by the ground,
Sarah's guilt is found.
let it go, waited for an hour, and then returned to say,
Sarah French is guilty of that, we all agree.
judge, she passed this sentence for the life she has in life.
Sarah French told I, Louis Christmas and sings some horrors in the bus. But Sarah French is hanging, turned out to be the last.
Making the Dutch man and sees with a clever lie. It mattered not which one of them put poison in the pie.
Sarah French must die.
It mattered not which one of them put poison in the pie. So, what time do we finish?
10, 15 minutes?
10, 15 minutes. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, I've got another guitar here. I haven't played yet.
Which one did you do? I didn't get up.
We could do small boats.
Small boats, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we wrote this next song for a musical.
Yeah, we were commissioned.
We were. And we won't go into the detail of the musical, because we haven't got time. But it was called America Ground the Musical. And the American Ground is an area of Hastings that kind of appeared after a couple of big storms back in the early 19th century. A load of shingle was washed up on the beach and people moved into these, made dwellings out of boats and things like people do. And then the corporation moved in and started taxing everybody. So they declared, actually I wasn't going to talk about this, was I? But they declared themselves kind of independent and aligned themselves with the US, which had just been granted independence. And they raised the Stars and Stripes on Hastings Beach. Anyway, that's kind of a bit of an aside. This part of the story is the hero, one of the heroes, is kind of chased out of town by a bunch of smugglers. Because smugglers, as you probably all know down here, weren't the sort of romantic, lovely, sort of swashbuckling people that was often portrayed on movies and stuff. They were absolute B-words, weren't they, largely, very often. Nasty gangs of people, very often. Certainly up in Sussex, there was a bunch called the Hawkhurst Gang, and they were really nasty. Anyway, he was chased out of town by this bunch, and the song is with him and between him and his girlfriend. Has some resonance with today, though, doesn't it?
Yes, the housing was compared to housing these days, and this is called small boats, again, compared to what's happening these days.
Gazing southward, new horizons,
Better not being out in the rain.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lovely time. We've got a little caravan. Parked up near, what's it called?
Blanford Forum.
Blanford Forum. You've got some funny names. You really have.
Going past road signs and thinking, well, that looks like a kind of apple. That one's a...
That sounds like an author.
Yeah, that's an author. That one's a Morris dance.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Or a...
Things you do.
Yeah, 1970s actor. Really good one.
Oh no, 1930s actor.
Yeah, yeah.
British actor. Character actor. Blanford Forum. That's Charles.
So this song is called Places Go People to See. And this features an ex-girlfriend of Jim's.
Mona. It was before I was married. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
She's okay. It's about, if things aren't working, move on, basically.
Just be happy.
Find someone better.
When you're young. Whatever. We're not telling you what to do. You got it. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
She burned my lights up. Hope you're feeling well. Hope you're feeling better. She's getting mad. The bit of my hair split. I had to make tracks. So I let it go, ladies, and heard my cry.
and supporting live music, and John and the gang for what they do in this brilliant place. You made us feel so welcome, and yeah, really brilliant. Thank you very much. Hope you have it. We're going to do one more song, I think. Yeah, getting a single finger from John. That was the right finger, I hope. It's a thumb. It's right. Yeah. And yeah, we've been Milton Hide. You'll find us on miltonhide.com and all. And no, not everywhere, but we're on Blue Sky. Does anybody do Blue Sky here? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's starting to be good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's like what Twitter used to be. Very much like it.
It won't be long.
No, it won't be long, it's corrupt.
It will be corrupted, yeah.
But yeah, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. What are we doing?
What, eh?
Oh, yeah. This is another political one, really.
Yeah. Just basically, there's got to be a better way than the way it's working at the moment, because it's not working. So, yeah, this is a plea for a different way.
This is on our album, and it features like a band of, like a full electric band. I said, well, it is a band, but it's all John, basically, isn't it? Our mate John, who plays every instrument under the sun. We're in there somewhere as well.
There are other musicians on the album as well.
Sort of reggae thing, that's it.
The game is rigged, the loaded dice, they hold the cards, they don't play nice, they shut them all, the slider and trick plays out, just like a plan. If you feel you got no choice, you got no say, you got no voice, take time to control, you got yourself out of this hole, spoil the game. So close, the game gets up, but all the fans have seen enough. It's down the right, it's up the left, no time out to catch our breath. If we take a different path, against the wind we can get this back. Make a mark, chance to use, time for you to change those rules. Why don't you spoil the game?
Yeah, all some nervous looking.
We don't even need to
faces.
tell you what to do because you
No.
will know.
It's not. Yeah, we've come up with a song that literally needs no explanation.
Well, I just will explain that we sang this
Oh, it
at
does
our
need
son's-
an explanation.
We sang it at my son's wedding. Poor thing.
Mid-age parents playing in your
All
wedding.
three of our sons we've tormented in this way, like
The
singing.
last time we brought out a banjo.
Yeah, no, parents do that. Take a banjo to your son's wedding. Yes, so this is about how they met.
No? Oh.
At Panto time in Eastbourne, a young couple they did meet. Stood behind the forest spot, they began to feel the heat. Just like a ragged genie, Panto's magic cast its spell. They gently rubbed the genie's lamp, and now there's wedding bells.
Oh no, they didn't.
Oh yes, they did.
Oh no, they didn't.
Oh yes, they did. The curtains up, the stage is set, so raise the roof, hooray! It's a happily ever after wedding day. In Neverland he took a hand and to her he did say, come with me, my Wendy bird, and let us fly away. So off they took away from Hook away to see the sights. But 2 feet off the ground they flew, 'cause he ain't so good with heights.
Oh no, he isn't.
Oh yes he is.
Oh no, he isn't.
Oh yes he is. The curtains up, the stage is set, so raise the roof, hooray! It's a happily ever after wedding day. As Cinderella struck the floors and they dreamed of the ball, and Belle she learned to love the beat before last petals fall. As non-corrected beauty fell asleep at a spinning wheel, behind the scenes to all the room found that love was real.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes it is.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes it is. The curtains up, the stage is set, so raise the roof, hooray! It's a happily ever after wedding day. Beneath the tissue paper moon, behind some plywood palms, as the house lights gently dimmed, he took her in his arms. Oh, my darling, and oh, come, let's tie the knot right now. And last stitch up his heart in the midst of the rear end of a cow.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes it is.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes it is. The curtains up, the stage is set, so raise the roof, hooray! It's a happily ever after wedding day. And now the script is written and rehearsals at an end. It's time this double act became much more than just good friends. So smile and laugh and sing and dance and never wear a frown. Romance at the Panto is the greatest show in town.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes it is.
Oh no, it isn't.
Oh yes it is.
The curtains up, the stage is set, so raise the roof. I mean, that was the worst this year, wasn't it? Absolutely pathetic. You can do this. The curtains up, the stage is set, so raise the roof. Hooray! I'd say that was a 7. Look, it's your own time you're wasting. We've got all night. The